Well, I just turned off the news. I had to. I can't just continue to watch bad news on a loop, watching other people's lives destroyed, and here I am just sitting in my house, taking care of my parents across the street. The tragedy around us is devastating. And our small business, we're artists. We run a creative company here in Houston, and everything has stopped. I have no income. I have no hope for income. The question then becomes, so what do you do? How do you make a living when there's no money coming in? How do you run a business when there are no customers? I've come up with 7 steps that I think are really important in this kind of crisis. Hi, I'm John, and this is Bogdan. In 2015, we gave up our day jobs and started our own freelance creative business. Join us on our journey as we figure out how to earn a living as artists, introduce you to those we meet, and share what we learn along the way. I guess we should probably start by telling you a little bit about ourselves. I do painting, and Bogdan does video production and photography, and he also does some line art and some painting as well. So we're really in a creative business. We've been doing this since 2015, and we have a studio in Houston at the Sawyer Yards at Silver Street Studios, and we love it. And so we do a lot of work at home, and we do a lot of work in the studio. And really, we depend on foot traffic to the studio for a lot of our art sales. We're trying to break out online, but we haven't done a lot yet. So other than the kind of commercial applications of photography and video production, really we're betting on people coming through the door. Well, obviously, when all of this coronavirus hit, they closed the doors and all of those people went away. Luckily, we have some support systems that not everybody has, but we need to continue to build our business. And that means making some changes. So look at all the projects that we haven't done, and we're trying to address some of those. We're working on our websites. We're trying to diversify our income so that in the future, if something happens like this, we're not hit quite so hard. I came up with 7 concrete things I can do today to better prepare my creative business for whatever comes next. First, keep a routine. For the first couple of weeks, I was so stunned and confused, I just watched Netflix on a loop. I slept in, I spent the day in my PJs, and I was very intermittent in my work. That's all changed now. I get up at the same time each morning, I do some exercise every day, and Lord knows I need it. Shower, I dress, just like I was going to work. This may appear to be unnecessary and unimportant, but I can tell you for me, it makes all the difference. Now, number 2, I have to look as professional as I can. I'm spending serious time updating my website, adding e-commerce plugins, updating resumes and images. I want my website to look its best. I'm doing the same thing with my social media platforms as well, and I want to make sure my brand is clear, I look successful, and that all of these tools are serving me to their best potential. I needed to do this for ages. And it's amazing how quickly and completely these platforms can go out of date. Now, number 3, I need to be able to organize myself. The time I spend organizing my artwork will make me look much more professional later and still save me a lot of time and workflow. Number 4, this is a great time for me to work on my client database. I can finally update emails, addresses, mine for new prospects, catch up with those I've not spoken to for a while. I use a CRM database called HubSpot. It's the free version. And keeping up with all those collectors and customers and colleagues is core to the success of my business. If a potential client needs to hear from me 5 times before they do business with me, I need to have a clear idea of whom I'm communicating with, how often, and what happens next. Number 5, I have to keep my eyes wide open. I have to be ready and willing to jump on any opportunity as it presents itself. This pandemic is changing the landscape for all of us. I've noticed that ever since everyone's shows and exhibitions got canceled, there's a sudden flood of open calls for competitions and online exhibitions. Take a look at all those opportunities and sign up for as many of them as makes sense. They are offering prize money, solo exhibitions, publishing opportunities, and I must have responded to about 6 just yesterday. Congress also just passed the CARES Act, which allows for all sorts of small business loans and grants through the SBA. Get those grant applications in now. If you get some of that stimulus money, it could very well take care of your business while you're trying to rebuild. Now, number 6. There seems also to be all sorts of free courses online, videos and podcasts. I'm trying to use this extra time to get as much professional development and education as I can. This is very helpful information and something that I never seem to have enough time for when things are good. And now number 7, and most importantly, I have to keep creating art. The work I'm creating now will be the collection I promote when these dark clouds lift. It helps me emotionally to keep working, and it builds my inventory so that I'm ready to sell as soon as those customers return. Bogdan is a remarkable photographer, but you'll find that he spends most of the time behind the camera and very little in front of it. But I wanted to ask him, since we've been kind of locked away here in isolation, he started a new collection of photographs, and I thought I'd like him to talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of dead times these days. I don't know which direction to take. But regardless, I try to stay creative and identify this opportunity of taking pictures of things around me that I will never photograph otherwise, and I'm trying to see different other things than usual. And the project is called Home for COVID-19. They reflect my emotional status. I don't know where it goes. Hopefully it's gonna end one day because I'm tired of sitting home. And yeah, so if you want to see more of these collections, go and follow me on Instagram, which is Bogdan on Instagram. The address is on the screen.
Excellent. Well, great. I know that this series hopefully will end, as you say, but there's some remarkable work going on, and there's a lot of people doing things like it. So anyway, we just wanted to highlight that and the work that Bogdan's been doing.
Yeah, thank you. And hopefully this will end up in a zine as well one day.
Excellent. When we're out there in the community or working online, we run into all sorts of amazing people. And we're going to call this segment Amazing People. What? Well, as I was digging around looking for new opportunities for us to kind of exhibit our stuff online, I ran across the name of Andy Adams. Now, Andy is one of those remarkable people who seem to leave his mark on everything he touches. Andy Adams is one of our new heroes. He's the editor of Flack Photo Newsletter and a tireless advocate for the arts long before social distancing ever became a thing. He appears to be ramping up his efforts in an amazing way during this crisis. He also runs a daily blog for 6 days a week, featuring the work of other photographers. Andy is also the digital director at Outrider Foundation, an educational media group. Now, with all these mass closures of art venues all around the country, we're all wondering how it is we're going to get our work out there to be seen. And it's people like Andy, those tireless, creative, altruistic people, who move us all forward. He's also the editor of Flack Photo Projects, promoting photography in general, and Flack Photo Network, an online community that's focused on conversations about visual media and culture. He runs this service totally at his own expense. If you'd like to help Andy out with some of those costs, drop him a donation at his buymeacoffee.com account. I know he would appreciate the support. I'll put the link down in the description. So I'd love to know what you're doing. I'd love to know your comments and your fears, your reflections about any of this information, because I'd like to start a conversation with you. And hopefully what this vlog series will do is it will allow us to kind of share openly what we're experiencing, the kinds of people we're meeting and the problems we're running into. Take a minute, subscribe to the channel. That would be great. Hit that little bell if you want to be notified for when more videos come out. Maybe follow us on Patreon if you're inclined. That would be a great help as well. But most importantly, leave some comments, ask some questions, and let's have this conversation.